Welcome, parents of new AUC students, and perhaps some of you are here as the parents of continuing students. Welcome to you. My name is George Marquis, and I am the Dean of Students and MC of this program. We're happy to have you here this evening, and we hope that you enjoy and benefit from this Parents Association and Parents Orientation meeting. By the end of this evening, you should have a much better understanding of AUC's system of education and why AUC is the best choice for your children. In your packets, each of you have on your seats, you'll find inside a block note and pen. You'll also find a piece of paper on which you can write a question to ask to our panel, who I'll introduce shortly. These questions can be about anything at AUC that you are not clear about yet. They can be about academics or any of the services that we offer. For those of you who would like to listen to the panel in Arabic, there are speakers outside, and we do have simultaneous translation. We are also recording this session. Once we record the session, the tape of the session will be uploaded onto the AUC website, and those who could not attend will be able to watch it at their leisure, and also those of you who would like to review it will be able to do so. I should note that we ran this orientation in the fall 2019, and we have run it every semester for many years, and the recording from last fall is also on the website. You're welcome to watch that at any time. In the spring, obviously, we have fewer students that enter AUC, so this group that we have here of parents represents a large percentage of the students who have just enrolled, so we're very happy that you've shown interest in coming. I would now like to welcome to the podium the AUC President, Francis Ricciardoni.
Thank you very much, Dean Markey, and welcome to all of our new parents and returning parents. It's a very special moment in the life cycle, the annual life cycle of a university, when we bring in our new students and the parents who have, with them, decided that you should entrust your students to us. It is a high responsibility. We take it extremely seriously. We know that it's something that makes students excited but a little anxious, and the parents especially anxious about whether it's the right choice and what it all means, especially if you're from a family that's new to AUC. Many of our AUC students are from AUC families. Their parents have come here, or their brothers or sisters or cousins, and they have an idea. We offer something very different here at AUC than throughout Egypt. I would say, you could even say in the world. I can tell you that even at an American university in the United States, university in the UK, you will not see a room like this with an orientation for new parents with 13 caregivers, senior administrators, the president, the provost, several deans, vice presidents. We're all here because we so care for our students. Once they're selected, we work hard on selecting them. This group, by the way, your students who are here had to compete for entry. We only accepted about 1 in 3 of the applicants for the spring term here. So we take a lot of care in selecting them. We work hard to consider applications for financial aid. I don't know what the statistics are now, but you'll be able to speak to how many of our current students get special scholarships, full or partial scholarships. All students who come to AUC, all Egyptian students, receive a subsidy. Tuition only pays about 60% of the cost of operating this university, of educating your kids. Let me just point to a couple of things. One is, I just got this today. I don't know how long this has been out, but if you want the basic statistics about AUC in a wallet card thing, This is the 2019-2020 statistical summary of AUC. We've had these every year, but I hadn't seen the new one until today. The other little card that my colleagues are tired of hearing me speak to, so I'll just be very brief, you should also get. This is our educational philosophy in a card. It's in the packet. So you have an information packet. If you want the short version of what makes AUC different and special, this is our character on a wallet card. We have the 100-year logo. This is the end of our celebration of our centennial year of our founding. We have a lot of special activities going on this campus 2 weekends from now, actually 2 weeks from now. On Saturday the 15th, there'll be a lot of activity, special music and lectures and events going on. You are all welcome. All of our students, their families, alumni, and anyone you can identify that you wish to bring with you. We're opening the campus for these special celebrations on Saturday the 15th, and then on Sunday the 15th, our trustees will be here. On Monday the 16th, there'll be many special lectures, musical presentations that evening. Monday the 16th, Sunday the 16th, and then Monday the 17th of February, very, very special events. Also, special lectures going on all afternoon, maybe some in the morning too. In the evening, we will have a laser illumination of our portal, the iconic architecture out there. I think it's 7 p.m., it's after dark, or 7:30, and then fireworks in the evening. It's all open to students, faculty, staff, family, friends, alumni. So please mark your calendars for that and make sure your students know about it. It's funny what students pay attention to and what they don't pay attention to in the announcements. Back to this card. We are Egypt's global university. We have about half of our faculty are Egyptians, and about the other half are from all the rest of the world, about a quarter from the United States and another quarter from the rest of the world. The Egyptians are ones who are by and large educated outside of Egypt. Our student body is now 95% or so Egyptian. Before 2011, we were bumping up at about 20% non-Egyptian. We aim to bring more international students back for at least a term abroad or junior year abroad, so that Egyptian students, as I look, I'm guessing most of the parents here, if not all, are Egyptian parents. You bring your students here because you want them to be with educated native speakers of English, or people who speak at that level, even if they are Egyptian faculty and students, and that's what we try to sustain here. Not only for the English capability, but for the experience that people have living abroad. We'd like to have all of our students have an opportunity to study outside of Egypt while we're here. I'm sure some of my colleagues can speak to that. So Egypt's global university. Then on the front of the card is a very short statement that makes it really easy to understand why our philosophy is so different. This is not a place where people come to finish their education. It is not a place where people come to learn a job, a profession. We're not a professional school. Yeah, we have a business school, we have engineering school, but that's not what AUC is about. We say that our mission is inspiring explorers, not telling people, not bestowing information, but inspiring people who are already curious. They are explorers, they are seekers for lifelong journeys. We say, do not come here to complete your education, come here to accelerate it. This is only the place where the last few years of concentrating on how you learn and speeding up your learning and exposing you to new things to learn and new ways of learning. So we're inspiring explorers for lifelong journeys of challenge, discovery, innovation, and service. We want people who love problems. We want people who are looking for problems when they come here because they love problems and they want to figure out ways of solving the world's problems, not just their personal ones or their family businesses or their community problems, but problems that apply to people all across Egypt, the region, and the world. In focusing on problems, and how to solve them, we release creativity. I'll get to the back of the card later. So people who like challenges, who like difficulties, who like to discover, who don't just look for the right answer, but love the inspiring questions. And then innovation, people who embrace change and know that not all change is necessarily good, but change is inevitable, progress is not. And they look to drive change through innovation. And finally, service. People who come here, yes, we all want to have our students be employable, and they will be. Our students are among the most desired by employers in all of the region. So they'll certainly get that. But we want people who want to come out and find a way of finding the joy in life of giving and serving to others, their families, their communities, their companies, their country. So that's it in a nutshell. That's our educational philosophy. Those are the students we seek. Those are the qualities we seek to bring out. On the back are our values, and then another sort of code that's easy to remember about the definition of American inquiry-based liberal arts education. You'll hear us talking about liberal arts. What's that? It's 4 C's, the 4 C's of critical thinking. As I mentioned earlier, people who love great questions, who aren't interested in the right answer so much as the most penetrating questions. That's what critical thinking is all about. Creativity that is released through critical thinking, through problem solving. When we ask our young people not what do you want to be, but what problems do you want to solve? That's when the creativity comes out. Communication is necessary for the 4th C, collaboration. Now problems are solved by teams of people in different disciplines, engineers, scientists, mathematicians, economists, poets, artists, people who can graph out and represent problems and thinking about them in a different way. So we try to foster collaboration, and to get the best collaboration, people have to communicate effectively in the language of English, but it's more than just learning English. It's how to focus on what is important and persuade others and what others are talking about. So it sounds simple, but this is what really makes an education here very different. I will anticipate one thing. People too often think about AUC, and they think, AUC, oh, that's so expensive. I would like people instead to think, AUC, wow, what an experience. It's worth every penny. Yes, it's expensive if my student is not getting a full or partial scholarship. It's expensive, but you cannot buy, money cannot buy the quality of care that my student is getting here, of individual attention. At the bottom of the card, we say that we sum it all up: student-centered, faculty-led, staff-enabled. We focus on the student, the talent you see arrayed here that you'll be listening to, frankly, costs money. It takes a lot of people. We have the lowest faculty-to-student ratio in all of Egypt, and in most of the region, one of the lowest ratios in the entire world. The provost can tell us what the most recent numbers are. Is it still around 1 to 10? I was going to say 1 to 11. That's a lot of tender, loving care from faculty alone. Never mind all the people who work to make the life here safe and clean and smooth and stimulating, and to take care of students who are stressing out over workloads or learning how to balance their time and manage their interests. All those things are costly, but we think your students are worth it. And we know you do too, or you wouldn't have them here. So thank you very much for coming. Please excuse me for also the provost and the speakers who are coming. We have 2 campuses, one downtown, many of you know it from the past, which still operates and does many things, and it's a cultural center, and I'm going down there to open and be present at a 7 p.m. event. And if I don't leave right now, that event will start late. So I'm afraid I have to leave. Thank you all very much for coming. Thank you for entrusting your students to us. And thank you, dear colleagues, for doing this.
Thank you to the president for those remarks. In order to make it more interesting and personal, I've asked some speakers to speak in Arabic and others to speak in English. Our next speaker I've asked to speak to you to give his message in Arabic. I would now like to welcome to the podium the AUC Provost, Dr. Ihab Abdurrahman, and thank you for your attention.
مساء الخير. اولا بحب ارحب بيكم جميعا في الجامعه الامريكيه بالقاهره. فخورين جدا ان احنا بنشتغل في الجامعه لان الجامعه ليها دور كبير جدا في مصر. بالنسبه لي لولا الجامعه كان عدد كبير جدا من الدكاتره الموجودين شغالين في الجامعه دول كان زمانهم شغالين في حته تانية بره مصر. فاحنا بنبص على الجامعه على ان هي مركز لجذب العقول المهاجره تاني لمصر. حقيقي فخور بالجامعه واتمنى كمان وجود جامعات كتيره زي الجامعه الامريكيه تقدم نفس الدور. الحاجه اللي قالها البريزيدنت من شويه وانا عايز استرس عليها قبل ما ابتدي كلمتي حتى كمان، ان احنا كجامعه احنا الجامعه الوحيده تقريبا في مصر اللي مش غير قابله غير هادفه للربح. البريزيدنت برضو ما قالوش ثانك يو. البريزيدنت برضو ممكن ما قالوش ان احنا عندنا وقف باسم الجامعه. الوقف ده احنا بنستثمره بره مصر في حاجات كبيره جدا علشان نقدر ناخد منه العائد بتاعه يخش يساعدنا في تطوير العمليه التعليميه في مصر. البريزيدنت قالوا ان 60% من الكوست بتاع الجامعه بيجي من التويشن، وال 40% دي بتيجي من حاجات تانية منها الوقف بتاعنا في الجامعه. قبل ما ابتدي الكلمه بتاعتي انا بحب اشكر زمايلي اللي هم مسؤولين عن الايفنت النهارده، لان حقيقي الايفنت دي من اهم الايفنتس اللي احنا بنديها الاتنشن بتاعنا كادمنستريشن. زي ما انتم شايفين يمكن عدد اللي قاعدين على الستيج اكبر من عدد اللي قاعدين في الناحيه الثانيه. انا ببالغ شويه بس اسمحوا لي بكده بالمبالغه دي، لان احنا حقيقي الاهالي بالنسبه لنا مهمين زي الطلبه بالظبط. الطلبه مهمين بالنسبه لنا لكن الاهالي كمان مهمين، ان هم بيلعبوا دور مهم جدا في تعليم ولادهم، ولولا الدور دوت احنا ما نقدرش نكمل المهمه بتاعتنا. ومن هنا هيبقى محور الكلمه بتاعتي حقيقي دورك ايه كأب وأم في لو ابنك اول مره يخش الجامعه، او لو حتى مش اول مره يخش الجامعه وعملت اخطاء مع اولادك قبل كده تتعلم منها ازاي. انا عن نفسي انا اب الولدين بيدرسوا في الجامعه برضو، وبتعلم من الكبير وبحاول اصحح في الصغير يعني. طبعا احنا عارفين ان الطريق للوصول للجامعه، ولادكم لما وصلوا للجامعه ده ما كانش طريق سهل حقيقي، ده كان طريق صعب سواء عن طريق الدراسه والاسترس اللي هم كانوا محطوطين فيه عشان يقدر يجيب الجريدز بتاعت الجامعه ويخش الجامعه. وانا عارف كمان ان الادميشن بتاعنا السنه دي على الستاندرز في السبرينج دوت، فتاكدوا ان اولادكم دولت يعني من النوعيه خاصه، لان احنا علينا الادميشن كرايتيريا، لان احنا كان عندنا عدد معين من السيتس افيلبل، ما كناش عندنا عدد سيتس كبيره، فبالتالي احنا علينا الستاندرز وخدنا احسن الناس اللي متقدمين. زي ما البريزنت قال خدنا 1 من كل 3 اتقدموا لنا. زي ما حضراتكم عارفين ان مصر والمنطقه والعالم كله بيواجه تحديات كبيره اللي احنا كلنا شايفينها في القرن ال21. التحديات دي متعلقه بالامن القومي، الامن السايبر سيكيورتي، الامن الالكتروني، اوبئه كورونا، امراض، انقسام سياسي، صعوبات اقتصاديه. والحل كل المشاكل ديت احنا لازم نفكر في طريقه مختلفه نخرج بيها خريجين يبقوا يقدر يواجه حاجات احنا مش عارفين هي هتبقى ايه في المستقبل. احنا بنعلم ناس الطلبه بتوعنا بنعلمهم عشان يبقى وظائف احنا مش عارفين الوظائف دي هتبقى ايه، فلازم هو يبقى عنده تعليم جيد جدا لدرجه ان هو مش بس يلاقي وظيفه. ودي حتى انا على فكره استاذ فيزياء في الجامعه، في كل المحاضرات بتاعتي كنت ببتديها بقول للطلبه بتوعي، انا ما بدرسش دلوقتي يعني، بس كنت بقول للطلبه بتوعي احنا مش بنعلمك علشان تطلع تلاقي وظيفه، لان دي حاجه سهله. انا في رايي دي حاجه سهله. احنا بنعلمك عشان تطلع تخلق وظائف. هو ده المطلوب بالدور بتاعك الحقيقي، انك تخلق وظائف ليك ولغيرك، لان ده اللي هيساعد البلد اكتر. واحنا شايفين ان الخريجين بتوعنا هم حقيقي بيساعدوا في خلق وظائف كتيره جدا في مصر وبره مصر كمان. الاي يو سي هي المكان المناسب لان احنا نعد لاولادنا الحكايه ديت. انا بعد 10 سنين في امريكا ورجوعي لمصر انا اقدر اقول بكل ارتياحيه، بقى لي دلوقتي 14 سنه شغال في الجامعه، اقدر اقول بكل ارتياحيه ان الجامعه الامريكيه زيها زي اي جامعه موجوده في امريكا. كل السيستمز اللي موجوده في اي جامعه في امريكا موجوده عندنا في الجامعه الامريكيه. الحاجه اللي احنا اللي انا كنت قلتها لمراتي لما جيت اشتغلت في الجامعه الامريكيه، الميزه اللي انا باخدها في الجامعه الامريكيه ان انا كل يوم بروح اشتغل في امريكا تقريبا، وفي اخر اليوم بسوق عربيتي وارجع تاني القاهره. فكل يوم وابنك وبنتك بيروح يتعلم في امريكا، وفي اخر اليوم بيسوق عربيته او بيركب الاتوبيس بتاعنا ويرجع تاني القاهره او يرجع للبيت بتاعكم. ودي حاجه انت مش هتلاقيها لو ابنك مسافر بره. كمان الحاجه اللي احنا بنتميز فيها في الجامعه هو المنهج الدراسي بتاعنا القائم على الليبرال ارتس اديوكيشن. ودي غدا الشيمي هتتكلم معانا عن الليبرال ارتس اديوكيشن. انا مش عايز اترجمه يا دكتور غدا عشان ممكن اترجمه غلط فايه الليبرال ارتس اديوكيشن؟ هو منهج غير تقليدي بيمنح الفرصه للطالب للاطلاع على المعارف العامه بره التخصص بتاعه. وتخيل كده لو ابنك فيزيائي زي حالاتي وما اتعلمش في جامعه ما اتعلمش في جامعه حكوميه زي حالاتي، هيطلع يقدر يلعب ميوزك، دي حاجه كويسه جدا. يقدر يطلع كمان مبدع في تفكيره في بره المجال بتاعه. ودي الميزه اللي تلاقيها في التعليم الامريكاني بره حتى عن التعليم الاوروبي. طلبه بتوعي لما بييجوا يسالوني بعد البكالوريوس او بعد الماجستير انا مسافر بره اطلع ادرس فين، اوروبا ولا امريكا؟ بقول له من غير ما تردد اطلع امريكا. السبب ان امريكا بتخلي التعليم بتاعه جنرال وبرود، وبالتالي يقدر هو بياخد سكيلز مختلفه بتشجعه او بتحفزه كمان ان هو يغير مجال حياته بسهوله في المستقبل. في اوروبا التعليم بيبقى كويس جدا في المجال بتاعك بس، لكن بره المجال بتاعك ما بتقدرش انت تتواكب مع التغيرات اللي بتحصل. عشان كده انا حقيقي بشجع دايما التعليم الامريكاني او فلسفه التعليم الامريكاني، لان هي بتدينا حاجات تخلينا نقدر احنا نكوب مع التغيرات اللي بتحصل في المجتمع بتاعنا. التعليم بتاعنا بيقول لاولادنا ازاي تفكر، بيعلموا ازاي يفكر مش يفكر ايه، لان احنا ضد ان هو نقول له يفكر ايه. ده هو اللي مسؤول عن تفكيره واتخاذ قراره. عشان كده احنا من اول يوم بنعوده هو على ازاي يفكر. الحاجه اللي انا عايزكم بقى تساعدونا فيها في الجامعه ان انتوا ساعدونا ان احنا نخلي ولادكم يفت في مجتمع الجامعه الامريكيه، ويفت ان هو يبتدي ياخد قراره بنفسه. من فضلك انا نصيحه ليك كأب، من فضلك ما تقولش لابنك يخش ميجر ايه، سيبه هو يقرر هو عايز يخش ميجر ايه. احنا دايما بنبقى عايزين ندخل ولادنا يبقوا مهندسين او دكاتره، وده حقيقي مش التوجه الصح. انت خليه يخش حاجه هو حاببها وهو هيتفوق فيها، عشان لما هو حاببها هو هيتفوق فيها وهو هيعرف يبدع فيها، ودي الحاجه المهمه جدا. انا الاسبوع اللي فات والنهارده طول اليوم بتاعي جايالي ابيلز لطلبه عايزين يرجعوا الجامعه تاني، وبيرجعوا الجامعه لانهم ما عملوش كويس في الميجر اللي هم كانوا داخلين فيه. ولما بسالهم ليه، النهارده كنت بتقابل مع طالب او طالبه منهم يعني، بساله ليه كده، قال لي عشان بابا وماما قالوا لي لازم ادرس الميجر دوت، فانا حبيت ابسطهم ودخلت، بس بعد 3 سنين انا مش لاقي نفسي ولازم احول لميجر تاني. حقيقي بتبقى عبء كبير جدا علينا احنا، لان احنا كده بنحس ان احنا ضيعنا من عمر الولد دوت 2-3 سنين، وبالتالي عشان نعوض 2-3 سنين دي هتاخد مننا مجهود اكبر كمان. زائد كده كمان بيأثر على الطالب منتلي. يعني احنا دكتور علا مرسي وزمايلنا كمان في الويل بينج هيتكلموا على المنتل هيلث ايشوز اللي احنا بنشوفها اليومين دول في الطلبه بتوعنا. الكلام ده ما كانش موجود على ايامي، ما كانش موجود على معظم ايام كنتوا اصغر مني بكتير. لكن حقيقي احنا شايفين دلوقتي ان الاسترس اللي موجودين فيه الطلبه بيأثر عليهم منتلي. دي حاجه احنا كلنا لازم نبقى واخدين بالنا منها في الجامعه، وعشان كده احنا عندنا ناس متخصصين يعملوا الكلام ده. وكمان انتوا زي كاباء انتوا لازم تاخدوا بالكم من المنتل هيلث بتاع اولادكم. من فضلك شجعوا ان هو يعمل الحاجه اللي هو بيحبها، واهم كمان شجعوا ان هو يبقى اكاديميكلي كويس. شجعوا ان هو يخش في النشاطات المختلفه اللي جوه الجامعه، لان النشاطات دي هي اللي بتخلي شخصيته حاجه مختلفه. انا شفت ده في ولادي وشفتها في ولاد كتيره جدا انا درست لهم في الجامعه. واحد من اللي انا درست لهم كان جاي على منحه خاصه يعني، وجاي من حته في الصعيد معينه. دلوقتي هو راح عمل الماجستير بتاعته في كامبريدج عشان عمل الديجري بتاعته في الفيزيكس اللي هو حاببها. ما راحش دخل ميكانيكال انجينيرنج وهو مش حاببها، عمل الديجري بتاعته فيزيكس، راح كامبريدج خلص الماجستير بتاعته، راح شيكاغو خلص الدكتوراه بتاعته، والنهارده هو بوست دوك في الMIT. لو شفتوا الجيرني دي بالنسبه للمجال بتاعه الفيزيكس كلها حاجه ريلي امبرسيف. الجامعات دي كلها تطلع من AUC بالكواليتي ديت، يروح كامبريدج شيكاغو وبعدين ياند اب اول شغلانه ليه في الMIT. ده حقيقي رحله لازم كلنا نبقى فخورين بيها. 90% تقريبا من طلبه السنه الاولى في الجامعه بيتخرجوا هم من اعلى 10% من مدارسهم الثانويه. الطلاب دول دايما بيدوروا على الكمال، يعني عايزين يبقوا بيرفكت في كل حاجه. ده كويس على فكرة، لكن ان هو يبقى ال 4.0 جي بي اي ديت مش هي احسن حاجه في الدنيا. لازم نركز دايما ان الجي بي اي مش اهم حاجه في الدنيا، الشخصيه المتكامله هي اهم حاجه في الدنيا. انا بقول لكم كده كواحد اكاديمي، انا على فكره انا خريج جامعه حلوان مش خريج الاي يو سي، قعدت اخدت الدكتوراه بتاعتي في امريكا، وبعد كده قعدت 6 سنين بعد الدكتوراه بتاعتي في امريكا، فقعدت 10 سنين من حياتي قضيتهم في امريكا. وخبرتي هناك لان كنت ضد ان انا ابقى متقوقع مع زمايلي المصريين في حته واحده ونتقابل مع بعض، كنت منفتح على العالم الامريكي بطريقه مختلفه. كنت عايز اشوف هو ليه الهاير اديوكيشن سيستم في امريكا وصل للمرحله اللي هو فيها دي، واحنا في مصر مش عارفين نوصل للمرحله ديت. اللي انا شفته هناك ان هم هناك بيهتموا بال ان يبقى الطالب متكامل، مش بيبقى بس اكاديميكلي سترونج وما عندوش الشخصيه المتكامله ان هو يقدر يواجه الحياه في المستقبل، ده مش هيفيده كتير. بحب انا انهي كلمتي واقول لكم حقيقي انا متشكر ليكم جدا ان انتم واثقين فينا ان احنا نبقى نرعى اولادكم. انا بقول كمان ان اولادكم كلهم في حقيقي في ايد امينه، كل الدكاتره بتوعنا من الناس اللي احنا بنختارهم فعلا بعنايه فائقه، سواء الامريكان او الاجانب عموما او المصريين، عشان نقدر نوفر احسن جودة للتعليم لأولادنا في الجامعة الأمريكية بالقاهرة. احنا كمان بنقول لما بتيجي لجودة التعليم بالذات ما فيش اند لاين، there is no end line. دايما احنا في تحسين مستمر لجودة التعليم، عشان كده كل مرة هتيجوا الجامعة تلاقونا احنا بنتكلم دايما على ازاي نحسن جودة التعليم. ده مش معناها ان احنا مش راضيين عن جودة التعليم بتاعتنا، لا، ده معناها ان احنا عمرنا ما هنبقى راضيين عن جودة التعليم بتاعتنا، احنا دايما هنفضل نحسن فيها. تاني مرة بشكركم واتمنى لكم أمسية سعيدة ان شاء الله.
Rehab for those remarks. They turned it off. Okay. I would now like to welcome to the podium the AUC Vice President for Student Life, Dr. Dina Borai.
I want to add my warm welcome to that of Provost Abdurrahman and the President Richard Dhoni. Thank you very much for entrusting your sons and daughters to us, and welcome to you and to them. Now, when I first came or became Vice President for Student Life, I remember there were a couple of students passing by my office. Then they saw the sign, Vice President for Student Life, and they told me, or they didn't tell me, I heard them from the corridor, Yani student life. So this was this was the beginning of, for me to start to explain to everyone that at AUC, students have double life or two lives. And I want to make it very clear, because my very dear colleague, Dean Ghada Shimi, was talking about, the two lives are not separate. They're not separate. So when I talk about student life and academic life, it is to create a holistic human being, or to educate our students such that they care for their academic life and what we call at AUC co-curricular life. Co-curricular life is not, and I want to underline not, extracurricular. It is parallel, and it is equally important to the academic life. And this is where I need your help, my lovely parents, our lovely parents. We need your help to encourage your sons and daughters to live a full academic life and co-curricular life. So what is co-curricular life? Co-curricular life, maybe in some of the thinking in a different way about education, that it is only attending classes and only attending courses. No, it's about joining student activities, student organizations, student clubs, organizing concerts, dancing, singing, doing all kinds of different activities, but with a purpose. Because when we talk about co-curricular life at AUC is organized, that it is supervised. We just don't leave students to dance and play and have games, which we do, of course, but it is the co-curricular life where they learn about life skills, المهارات الحياتية, which now, by the way, in Egypt, I don't know if you've heard the Minister of Education talking about maharat hayatiya in the curriculum for KG1, KG2, grades 1, 2, and 3, and inshallah for the whole system. Because we realized in Egypt, that our education system lacked that focus of maharat al-hayatiyya, which are the life skills. And this is why, as Provost Ihab said, the American style education is designed such that our students learn both, that you'll come out as an engineer, but an engineer that is a leader, that is able to speak in public beautifully, that can stand and that can organize a concert, that can submit a proposal, that can create a budget. So these are very important skills for life. And this is what I hope, that when you see your son and daughter doing things that are separate from their studying and from their work, please encourage them. Help them in their time management if they need help in time management. But don't just focus on the grades. Because one thing I want to emphasize, and this is what many of students tell me, that Dr. Dina, that when we leave AUC and we show our transcript, it is never our transcript that gets us the job. It's the interview that gets us the job. They don't care. The HR directors or those who are interviewing me don't ask me about my GPA. That's true for most cases. GPAs are very important. I'm not saying that we encourage our students to ignore GPA, but they can't obsess about it, because that is not the final success factor in life. And I just wanted to make it clear that we want a balanced life for our students, that you encourage them to do all kinds of things. Now, the second thing is, as I want to echo the provost, what he said, is creating independent adult or students. Our students are independent. That is, you don't have to know their grades. In fact, we will not inform you about their grades. It is their right to keep it private. So if a student does not tell you what they got in their courses, this is the American system. Does that mean you have no right to worry about your child if they have any issues? Yes, you do have a way to contact us. If you're concerned about your student or your son or daughter, we have the Dean of Students, Dr. George Marquis. He's your contact. You can certainly, and you're welcome to come and meet him and talk to him about your concerns. This is what we do in student life. We care for student well-being. This is what we do. Whether it is academic, then Dean Marquis will help out the student in the academic life. If it has something to do with mental health issues, of course, as the provost said, we have Dr. Ola and the Center for Student Wellbeing. So these are important messages for you that I hope you will help support us in supporting your son and daughter to be fabulous, inshallah, fabulous global citizens of Egypt and of the world. And once again, welcome and thank you very much.
Now I'd like to welcome to the podium the president of the Parents Association, Dr. Maha Abdel Nasser, who will give remarks in Arabic, I hope.
مساء الخير على حضراتكم. ويعني دكتور جورج بيهزر، انا بشجع دايما ان احنا نتكلم معاكم بالعربي عشان نبقى حاسين ان احنا الدنيا اسهل شويه يعني. الاول بهنيكم جدا على اختياركم للجامعه، وبهني ولادكم ان هم عندهم بيرنتس زيكم. كتير جدا من البيرنتس وكتير من اصحابنا كلنا، واكيد اصحابكم وقرايبكم بيقولوا لكم ايه الفلوس دي كلها، ومش كنتوا شلتوا لهم قرشين احسن وتدفعوا الفلوس دي كلها في الجامعه وملهاش لازمه، واشتري له شقه، مش عارف يعمل لها ايه، لما يتخرج يعمل له مشروع. اكيد كلنا بنسمع الكلام دوت، وكلنا اخترنا ان احنا ما نمشيش ورا الكلام ده. ومن وجهة نظري يعني، وانا ابني ان شاء الله هيتخرج يعني السمستر ده، ده الصح. الانفستمنت الحقيقي في الولاد هو التعليم، وتعليم الجامعة الأمريكية مش أي تعليم الحقيقة. أنا دايما بيحسوا إن أنا بايزد شوية للجامعة، بس عشان أنا يعني رامي ابني قعد فترة طويلة شوية، فأنا اختلطت بيهم كتير، و I've been through يعني a lot. فاتعاملت مع كل الإدارات في الجامعة ومع كل الادمنستريشن. فالحقيقة الجامعة الأمريكية فعلا مختلفة، ما هياش زي أي جامعة في مصر خالص. انا خريجة هندسة القاهرة، يعني انا عارفة كويس يعني ان الواحد يتخرج من جامعة عادية. يعني التعليم في الجامعات التانية ممكن يبقى أحسن لو انتوا كنتوا يعني جايبين ولادكم هنا علشان بس ياخدوا يتعلموا هندسة مش عارف ازاي، ولا يتعلموا اقتصاد ازاي. احتمال يكون الأكاديميكس أو يعني طريقة التعليم نفسها تكون في حاجات أكتر في الجامعات التانية، لكن الحياة كلها في الجامعة هنا مختلفة تماماً. فشجعوا ولادكم ان هم يستفيدوا بكل حاجه في الجامعه، ما يدخلوش كلاسز بس. لو كنتوا عايزينهم يدخلوا كلاسز بس ودوهم عين شمس او القاهره، بلاش هنا. لكن هنا خليهم ينجوي فعلا الاكسبيرينس بتاعه الجامعه كامله. الفلوس اللي انتوا بتدفعوها واللي انا منكم بندفعها including كل ده، including ان هم زي ما قالت دكتور دينا يعملوا co-curricular activities، including ان هم يروحوا كارير سنتر يسألوهم بيعملوا ايه ويتعلموا منهم، including ان هم لو عندهم اي مشاكل ومش قادرين يمانج الستريس اللي عندهم يروحوا للستودنتس ويل بينج. كل دوت included في الجامعة، وكل ده مش موجود في اي جامعة تانية. فمهم قوي واحنا بنشجع ولادنا ان احنا نقول لهم بصوا شوفوا ايه اللي بيحصل، اتعلموا من كل اللي بيتعمل، ما تسيبوش حاجة، ما تدخلوش كلاسز وتخرجوا منها وبس، ما تخلوش الجيرني بتاعتكم في الجامعة ما تبقاش meaningful كفاية، لأن هي فعلا ممكن تبقى حاجة مختلفة جدا وتخلق منهم شخصيات تانية. باك للي قاله دكتور إيهاب، واللي هو أنا بحب دايما أستريس عليه، موضوع إن إحنا نسيب ولادنا يختاروا. بجد 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 أنا I've been يعني ماسكة البوزيشن دوت almost 3 سنين أو 4 سنين دلوقتي، وكم البيرنتس اللي كانوا بيجوا بيشتكوا إن ولادهم مش قادرين يدكلير الميجرز اللي هم فيها، كان من ضمن الأسباب أو من أهم الأسباب إن هم ضاغطين عليهم يدخلوا في ميجر معينة. طبعا في ولاد مش بيقدروا يدكلير لأسباب تانية يعني، بس في الآخر لازم ما نبقاش احنا السبب على الأقل، ولا نبقى احنا السبب ان احنا بنزقهم لحاجة، ولا احنا نبقى عائق قدامهم لو هم عايزين يختاروا حاجة تانية. أنا فاهمة طبعاً إنه أكيد لو كلنا مش خريجين جامعة أمريكية هنبقى متلخبطين قوي في السيستم، وفي كلام كتير. بروفوست يعني إيه بروفوست؟ معلش يا دكتور إيهاب، مفيش جامعة في مصر فيها بروفوست، ده اللي هو الرئيس الأكاديمي. الجامعة الأمريكية فيها رئيس عام اللي هو مستر شردوني، وفي رئيس أكاديمي اللي هو مسؤول عن الأكاديميكس كلها اللي هو البروفوست اللي هو دكتور إيهاب عبد الرحمن. It's totally different. احنا ما كناش نعرف حاجه اسمها كده، يعني هو رئيس عميد الكليه وعميد الكليه ورئيس الجامعه ورئيس الجامعه وبس. فلازم نتعب سنه في ان احنا بس نعرف السيستم، نعرف يعني ايه انه الولاد المفروض ان هم بيريجستر في وقت معين، في وقت بيعملوا فيه دروب اند اد، ده لازم ياخدوا بالهم انه ما يعدهمش الوقت. بنسيبهم وبنديلهم حريتهم، بس في شعره كده صغيره ما بين ان احنا بنفرض عليهم آرائنا أو بنفرض نفسنا عليهم، وما بين إن إحنا بس بنتابع معاهم علشان لو في مشاكل نقدر نلحقها، لأنه فعلا ممكن يبقى في مشاكل، والولاد في السن ده بيتعرضوا لمشاكل كتير، سواء مشاكل نفسية أو سواء مشاكل ضغط من البير بريشر، ده يعني عالي جدا، إنه زمايلهم بيضغطوا عليهم لحاجات معينة، المجتمع بيضغط عليهم لحاجات تانية. ولاد عدوا بمرحلة صعبة جدا. احنا 9 سنين من 2011 من الثورة الأولانية، وبعدين بعد كده كان في 30/6 ثورة تانية، العالم كله بيتغير. we've been through يعني political unrest ولخبطة جامدة، وكل العالم فيه لخبطة جامدة. فلازم نتوقع ان ده يأثر على ولادنا، لان ولادنا مش منعزلين عن الدنيا كلها connected ببعض قوي. فهي الفكرة ان احنا ازاي نعرف نعمل البالانس ده، انه نبقى قريبين وهم عارفين ان احنا قريبين لو احتاجوا لنا، ونتابع معاهم، بس في نفس الوقت من غير ما نخنقهم ولا نفرض عليهم رأينا او نزقهم في اي اتجاه معين. في الاخر ولادنا هيعيشوا حياتهم هم، مش حياتنا احنا، وعمرهم ما هيبقوا امتداد لينا، هم هيبقوا كائنات منفصلة تماما وهيعملوا اللي هم عايزينه whether we like it or not. فيعني it's better ان احنا نخليهم يعملوا ده واحنا راضيين واحنا مبسوطين، مش يعملوه غصب عننا. في الآخر أنا بهنيكوا وبشكركوا إن أنتوا عملتوا الاختيار دوت، لأنه أكيد ده هيبقى في صالح ولادكوا وبناتكوا، وبجد مش هتندموا على الاختيار ده. اختيار جيد جدا. أنا رامي ابني يعني 7 سنين في الجامعة دي 7 سنة، فاحنا خلاص يعني hopefully إن هي دي هتكون خلاص آخر parents orientation ليا، لأني همشي معاه يعني إن شاء الله. وجود luck ليكوا ولولادكوا، وإن شاء الله يقضوا وقت كويس جدا في الجامعة.
Thank you, Dr. Maha, for that inspiring talk. I would now like to introduce and ask the 4 students to come up front, each of whom represents 1 year at AUC, meaning that we have freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. Each student will speak about the year that they have just finished. Therefore, they can talk about what happens during this year. Malak Mustafa will talk about her year as a freshman. Fathi Hamed will talk about his sophomore year. Hassan Ged will talk about his junior year. And Nadine Henny will talk about her senior year.
I remember the year I graduated from high school, and I was looking forward to having a new experience. I was so excited about starting this new chapter and immersing myself in this new world, which I knew nothing about, the world they refer to as the university. Passing by AUC's gates before I even got enrolled, I remember my dad's words: "You live the best days of your life within these gates." I felt the adrenaline pumping through my veins as I started applying in all the co-curricular activities I laid my eyes on. That was because at that time, I wasn't keen on discovering who I was. Rather, I was trying everything this university had to offer me to explore who I am and know where I belong. So, I joined my Intended Majors Association, the Student Ambassador Program, and all different types of clubs available. Who would have believed that the girl who uttered the question, "What's a co-curricular activity?" on her first day of university would have her life centered around these activities and her long-lasting friends which she met in this environment. This girl is the one standing in front of you right now. I'm grateful that my curiosity has driven me to try a lot in this unique university, trying various food outlets on my first week of university and going all around campus without stepping a foot in the plaza. I also became familiar with a less known aspect of AUC, campus life. I hung out in the common area in the residential building, where I became more aware of how student recreation, holding holiday celebrations and gatherings are valued. And this wasn't only it. The AUC sets up an employment fair every semester where all the well-known companies and startups are present. And despite the fact that I was a freshman, I was capable to land my first internship, transforming me into the independent character I am today. And also because of my university support, I was able to do very well in my courses. Those were some glimpses of my freshman year, which prompted all those I met afterwards to ask me, "How did you take advantage of all of these AUC opportunities at such a young age?" I'm looking forward to having a semester abroad so that I've filled all the puzzle pieces in my character. These feelings are common among us, even though that your children may not have the same experience as I did. So, sophomore year, here I come.
Sophomore year, 4 semesters in, approximately 220 days of going back and forth to campus. Yes, I made more friends and I've widened my social circle. Yes, I memorized the names of places. And yes, I was able to fit in. But what was more fascinating to me was that I felt that I belonged. I was one of the lucky winners in the rhetoric department poster competition, and my poster was hung up on the wall of the department. Every time I pass by it, I feel proud. I feel proud of how my young self has gone through to reach so much in such a short period. I joined several co-curricular activities, from clubs to offices, such as the Office of Student Life as an event coordinator. I was also honored to join the Student Ambassador Program to represent AUC, where I had abundant opportunities that flourished me as a student and as a person. Throughout my journey in AUC so far, I have enhanced not only my academic knowledge, but also my soft skills. I have developed experiences and gained skills that I never thought I would have. My whole life, I only had Egyptian friends, but now my best friend Miles is Armenian. I realized I'm not the same person I was 2 years ago. I'm much richer now, rich in awareness of my culture, other cultures, and the options I have in my career path. When we say fit in, we think of a community. However, it took me 2 years to realize that AUC is not just a community. It's also a home to which I belong. AUC taught me that life is a journey, and we have to pursue our dreams. Do you know what else I realized after all these refreshing experiences? I'm only halfway through.
Your experience was noteworthy. More major concentrated courses, increased independent study, and higher intellectually oriented classes were surely a few of the merits of finally becoming a junior. I've become more familiar with the university and its facilities, including the sports complex, and I'll go to the gym regularly, practice yoga, and attend other sports-related events hosted by the Office of Athletics. As part of the university's work-study program, I became a research assistant for my political theory professor and an academic director for the Political Science Student Association. For the first time, I had a better idea of what my life after graduation would be. The fact that you're allowed to take core courses with students of different majors helps complete your liberal arts experience and enhances your character and attitude. I became very much interested in finance and international business, even though I'm a political science major and an economics minor. I audited a couple of business-related courses to familiarize myself with the discipline and was opportunistic and took advantage of the fact that I now got to interact with students outside of my field of study. Socializing is a major advantage embedded within the university's culture. Nonetheless, my junior year was stressful. Sleepless nights, tight due dates, along with trying to maintain my honors status, contributed heavily to ensuring my junior year was distinctive. For the most part, the university's library became my home, as I spent a lot of hours drafting assigned papers, preparing debate arguments, and simply studying for a midterm or a final exam. It sure helped that the library is open 24 hours a day and that it is accessible to every AUC student. As a transfer student from Poland, I always appreciated diversity. I believe this year helped build an individual who is more resilient, efficient, socially active and aware, athletic, and more accepting of the diversity around him. One more year to go, and I couldn't be more excited.
I am an aspiring architect and photographer with a talent for poetry and acting and a passion for rowing and intellectual discourse. So far, I am surrounded by an exceptional group of friends who support me in ways I never thought I could find. How did I get there, you might ask? Through an internal decision to let myself explore all that this university has to offer, and to challenge myself to develop every single semester. I joined multiple student activities, found like-minded individuals, and allowed myself to open up to them. I broke out of my shell and decided to embrace my insecurities. But most importantly, I discovered parts of myself that I never knew existed. Now, this might all seem great, but the truth is, university is hard. So hard that it can get you questioning your whole life pretty much every week. Halfway through my university career, my grades dropped, I felt emotionally drained, and I doubted myself in every possible way. I wanted to quit everything altogether. By challenging my high achiever self-image, I started to value the actual knowledge and personal growth opportunities available in my classes, especially in the more challenging ones. I allowed my creativity to break free of the safe box of traditional topics and subject matters. I started exploring my artistic side more comfortably and was rewarded with a booming internal passion. The constant challenge to excel in many aspects can take its toll on students and lead to multiple breakdowns, especially in engineering degrees such as architecture. However, these challenges equip us with a unique skill set, producing the high achievers that this university is very proud of. The ability to balance a strenuous engineering education, student activities, sports, and a social life is an acquired skill that I and many other students at this university have been given the opportunity to learn. One way in which I really felt the importance of that skill was through working on my thesis, where I was able to balance the design of a social laboratory with being on the university's rowing team. The thing about AUC is that it offers its students a multifaceted experience that allows them to grow in all aspects of their lives, regardless of their field of interest. This makes them shine among all others in Egypt. I have personally experienced that through all my internships, where my education rivaled the skills of my colleagues who have been working in the field for years. AUC has been a roller coaster of pride and cry, achievements and disappointments, successes and failures, friends and foes. But most importantly, it has been an amazing chapter of my life, one that I am both excited and sad to see come to an end. But one thing is for certain: my experiences and the lessons that I have learned throughout the past 5 years will stay with me forever.
Thank you. I'd like to thank our 4 students, Malak, Fathi, Hassan, and Nadine, for this panoramic view of an education at AUC. We can see how the students grow from year to year and the number and variety of the opportunities that they have to, as the provost said, to become whole and to become well-rounded, and how they manage to balance the double life, as the vice president said, the double life, the academic life, and the co-curricular life. And now it is my pleasure to introduce those senior staff who make AUC possible for students. Here they are, our panel of experts who are here with us once again to represent their areas and to answer any of your questions. Obviously, we won't have time for so many questions this hour, but we have another hour after this session in the information fair, which is in the room across from us in PO 19. That will begin at 7 p.m. and go to 8 p.m., and every area will be represented in that room as well. So if you don't have a chance to ask your question here, you can ask it next door. Again, I remind you, if you have questions that you would like to collect, I'm ready to take them. But I have already received some questions. I'm waiting for the others, if you would like to give them to me. If not, I will begin by asking the registrar. Many students ask us, what are the dates? The dates for add and drop, the dates for dropping a course, the dates for census day, by which the final day for payment. There are many dates. So I wanted to ask the registrar if she could kindly tell us when the how to find these dates. Is there an academic calendar, and where is it?
Okay, the most important thing, as Dean Markey just mentioned, is the important dates and deadlines. So yes, we do have an academic calendar on the web pages بتاعت الجامعة, and بالخصوص اللي هي the registrar office web page, you would find the academic calendar للسنة كلها broken down بالسمستر, عشان احنا عندنا fall semester اللي بيبتدي في September, في winter session اللي هو بيبقى في January, وفي spring semester اللي بيبتدي في فبراير, وفي summer session برضو اللي بيبتدي في شهر 6 وبيبقى تقريبا شهر ونص. So هتلاقوا الكالندر دي لإيتش سيمستر بالimportant dates بتاعتها. أول يوم كلاسات إمتى، الديدلاين بتاع الدفع إمتى، الديدلاين بتاع الدروب إمتى، الامتحانات إمتى، last day of classes إمتى، كل الحاجات دي is there. And keep an eye دايما للديدلاين زي البيمنت إمتى. ممكن يعني ولادكم ممكن ينسوا شوية. ف it's important that you know the payment deadline عشان ما يبقاش عندنا مشاكل إنه الكورس ما عرفتش أسجل and so on. فدي موجودة as I said on the web page, and if you have any questions definitely هتلاقوا الكونتاكت بتاع the registrar. ممكن بتبعت لنا any email and we respond to you with any further details. Reminders, we do send reminders. يعني غير ان هتلاقوا الacademic calendar مجمعة for the coming 3 years عشان تدي sort of a plan or forecasting. بنبعت كمان reminders للستودنتس. يعني قبل الدروب ديدلاين بنبعت نقول يا جماعة ده الدروب ديدلاين. قبل البيمنت ديدلاين الحسابات بتبعت تقول this is the deadline to pay and so on. يعني في كمان individual reminders غير الفول year بحيث ان if you need to plan and تعمل حسابكم a certain deadline it's there. Right?
Thank you very much. The next question is, I'm going to ask the Director of Academic Advising, Noah Sada, and the question is, it says here, هل من الممكن اختيار أستاذ معين, or is it possible to choose a specific professor for my son or daughter?
سؤال شهير فعلا. Yes, there are options. طبعا احنا الجامعة هنا بتdepend on حاجتين. لو الستودنت is returning أو أصلا كان enrolled في الجامعة وهيدخل يسجل للسمستر اللي بعده، فهي بتعتمد على ال earned hours أو أقدميته أو his seniority زي ما الولاد ورونا first year, second year, third year and fourth year. فبتبقى الأسبقية للأكبر، دي أول حاجة. أما لو كان new student فبتبقى الأسبقية للي اتقبل الأول. ف yes, they have the right to select professors زي ما هم عايزين وcourses زي ما هم عايزين، وهي دي how the things are actually organized في الجامعة. Thank you so much.
And another question for you, so that you, because that was a very easy question. When هل من الممكن للطالب اختيار التخصص الذي يريده؟ متى يمكن للطالب اختيار التخصص الذي يريده? When can the student choose the major he wants?
يا جماعة aren't you معجبين بالعربي بتاع دكتور جون؟ يعني before we continue. بجد مش اتعلم على فكرة في الجامعة. So في حاجتين في مصطلحين في الجامعة مهمين قوي. حاجة اسمها intended major which corresponds to students داخلين undeclared يعني غير متخصصين. So intended major يعني هم ينووا التخصص في تخصص معين. فمثلا عندنا students intending psychology, students political science and so on and so forth. So طبعا من أول ثانية الستودنت بيلتحق فيها بالجامعة لو كان هو غير متخصص، لأن الجامعة بتدخل on 2 modes. لو science students ممكن يدخلوا متخصصين from the gate أو من أول ما بيقدموا، ولو non science لازم يدخلوا متخصصين غير متخصصين. So the point is that from day one لو الستودنت عنده حاجة perception في دماغه، نفسه يبقى psychologist لما يكبر، نفسه يبقى political scientist، نفسه يبقى economist أو يشتغل في الاقتصاد، كل الكلام ده yes ممكن يحدده من أول ثانية. However the beauty of الجامعة is that لو هو قرر بعد semester يتشينج الانتنشن ده أو التخصص ده، أو مثلا أخد كورس من الكور كوريكولم زي ما دكتور غادة هتتكلم عن liberal arts education واكتشف حاجة تانية هو ممكن يعملها، الدراسة اللي هو عملها ما بتضيعش، وممكن يغير التخصص اللي هو عايزه بسهولة، لأنه احنا عندنا كذا باسكت، ويعني الدراسة بتaccommodate such a change. فيس ممكن يتخصص من الأول، ولو مش عارف there are lots of ways that could guide him to what إن شاء الله يعني his aspirations are towards.
Thank you very much. The Career Center, Dalia Awad, the next question, which is, are there any part-time jobs at AUC for students? So هل هناك أي وظائف بالدوام جزئي داخل الجامعة الأمريكية للطالب أو للطلاب؟
Okay, so there is في حاجة اسمها work study program. So a work study program is a program that allows students, undergraduate students, when they are on campus to work. The center facilitates this process. كل الديبارتمنتس اللي في الجامعة they can announce البوزيشنز اللي عندهم حتى على الكاري سنتر كاري سيرفيس apply and then they can apply for different ones as well يعني not only one opportunity because لأنها فيها selection يعني ممكن 10 students or 20 students apply for the same position so they can apply and they can work on campus and this is a very enriching experience and it starts as early as the freshman year فهم freshmen يقدروا من الأول يقدموا على work study opportunities they can work in the library they can work in different departments كلنا هنا متهيألي عندنا students احنا عندنا students برضه we depend actually on our students they help a lot in our work احنا عندنا 25 students في البروجرام بتاعنا جوه المكتب بس بتاعنا more than the staff so yes so that's a good answer I guess so they apply and they get paid يعني the payment is not very high but it's a very enriching experience and they get evaluated as well من السوبرفايزرز بتوعهم and mentoring and so they read there's a lot of growth ففي حد بيتابعهم وبيقول لهم the areas that they need to grow in and they also have a community because they have other students who are working and other staff so it's really a very enriching.
Thank you very much. The next question is for our manager of recreation, fitness, and health. And the question is to join a sports team. What kind of test is there, or is there a test? هل الانضمام إلى فريق رياضي يتطلب اختبار؟
Yes, we have our tryouts. We do it every semester. So we announce the tryout schedule and then the students apply for it. For this semester, we're starting a new program on the engagement platform. So they have to apply through it. And then when they come to the tryout, the coach starts to select the roster. Once they are selected, they are one of the teams.
That was very fast and very efficient. And the next question also to you is about are there fees to pay for the courses that are taught like yoga, Zumba, martial arts, etc.?
Yes, we do have prepaid classes, fitness and kickboxing classes. We have different type of fitness classes and yoga and dance classes. It's a very small fees per month for unlimited classes. They can apply for it in our office any working days.
Very good.
Yes, they only pay small fees for a whole month and they can attend all the classes.
Next question is for our Office of, for the Associate Director of Financial Aid. And it is about how many semesters does financial aid last? So if I have financial aid now, for how long do I have financial aid?
Usually the financial aid award lasts for 1 academic year. So if students applied for the fall, they take it fall and spring. If they applied in the spring, they have to reapply again in the fall. بس the reapplying process اتغيرت السمستر ده وبقت easier. Just only a renewal form that they have to apply for as long as there is no major change for financial status بتاع student. He just have to fill out the renewal form every academic year. So students اللي قدموا السمستر ده الspring, they need to renew their award for the next semester. والapplication is currently available على self-service banner. والديدلاين هيبقى 1 April. أي student هيقدم بعد الديدلاين هيبقى subject to budget availability و subject يعني preferably طبعا يقدم أي حد يقدم قبل الديدلاين عشان ياخد الأوردز بتاعته بدري.
Great. And the next, since
1st of April for the fall 20 semester, yes.
the next question is for the Senior Director of Residential Life, and it is about a single room. Is it possible to get single accommodation instead of double accommodation?
Sure. The residence halls currently have between 600 and 700 students each semester, and a number of those students do choose to live in single rooms. They're subject to availability, of course. We have many different room types. On campus, we have single rooms, a smaller single room, a double room, and a premium double room. And then in the near campus, which is a 7-minute walk away, we have studio apartments and shared apartments, suite style. So our application procedure is first applied, first assigned. So students who apply early and choose a single as their first preference are accommodated them. Afterwards, they will receive their second choice, sometimes third choice if they apply quite late. If you apply for residence housing and you don't receive your first choice, you have 72 hours to decline the offer. So if a student does apply for a single and does not get a single, they can decline or be put on the waiting list when a single becomes available.
Thank you. And the next question is for the Senior Director of Faculty Housing and Transportation Services. And it is about the bus. It is about the bus pass. If I do not want to take the bus, is there some process to make sure that I am not charged for the bus?
If you don't take the bus and you don't pass by the bus terminal, then you're not charged. But if you take the bus and swipe your card through the turnstiles, it goes directly to the banner, and then you're charged for a ticket per ride. I encourage all of you to tell your sons and daughters to come with the bus. It's easier, it's safer, and it's very cheap. We have about 13 routes going all around Cairo and Giza, and we have about 75 pickup points and 100 drop-off points from 8 a.m. till 12 midnight.
Thank you. And there's one more question on the same topic, and it is about the bus and whether the bus, can my son study on the bus?
Yes, of course, we have a Wi-Fi connection on all the buses. It's ready and to get ready for the classes, going and backwards. So it's best effort service.
And the next is for the Chief Clinical Counselor, Dr. Ola. And the question is, how can my son or daughter make an appointment to see a counselor?
So it's very easy, actually. They come to the student counseling, to the Center for Student Wellbeing, and they book an appointment. At the beginning, it might be, actually they will find an appointment. It's very easy, and they just come to the center, and even they can actually email the center or by phone calls. They have the numbers. It's on the website. So appointments for the counseling are easy, especially at the beginning of the semester when we're still not overly booked. So they will find a very quick appointment with the counselor, hopefully.
Thank you, Dr. Ola. And the next question is for the Senior Director of Student Service, the Student Services Center, Shahida. And the question is, could you please tell me more about the services that you offer in this center?
Okay, أول حاجة ألف مبروك. طبعا the services that we offer, I'm sure that most of you here have tried, because the first thing that we do is admissions. So the Student Service Center is a hub for all student services. We meet prospective students from the day they decide to join AUC. We give them information about the admission requirements, about what to study, what subjects they need to take for declaring which majors, and so on. And we continue to offer them services throughout their study at AUC. So whatever they need to complete business, student service business, they need to visit the Student Service Center. We are at the portal at the very entrance of the university. We operate working hours from 9 to 3. So they can always come for all services they wish. If they wish to request credentials, academic credentials, if they wish to ask any question, pay any payments, we have a cashier. If they wish to issue their ID or get a new ID card, we have an ID center. So this is more or less a service hub for all student services. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the next question is for the Senior Manager of the IPO, the International Partnership. So السؤال بالعربي: متى يسمح للطالب بالحصول على فصل دراسي في الخارج? When can students go abroad?
Well, we always encourage our students to apply at the sophomore year. So في تاني سنة احنا بنبعت emails starting the beginning of the semester. بنقول لهم apply for the next year. So they're traveling في تالت سنة. يعني هم بيابلايوا في تاني سنة عشان يسافروا في تالت سنة. احنا عندنا already جامعات partners معاهم around the world. في أمريكا عندنا تقريبا 80 جامعة. عندنا 75 جامعة في أوروبا وعندنا في آسيا وعندنا في الميدل إيست مش كتير بس عندنا mainly في أمريكا وأوروبا فإحنا على طول بنencourage them في second year عشان هم لازم يتخرجوا من AUC فهم أما يسافروا في ثالث سنة يدوب يرجعوا يتخرجوا يعني.
Thank you very much. And the next question is for Dean of the Academy of Liberal Arts Undergraduate Studies, and also she is the director of the core curriculum. And there are many, many questions in this area which I think are deserving of our attention, but I'm going to begin with one about can you please explain the normal plan that students have in the core for the first year?
The core curriculum is the place where AUC's liberal arts philosophy is embodied. So every student at AUC has courses in their major, and they spend about 1.5 years doing courses outside of their major. And the provost talked about the liberal arts courses, giving them a broad base of knowledge being the mark of an educated mind, giving them a well-rounded character, and also equipping them with critical thinking skills, creative thinking, problem solving, and all sorts of transferable skills. The core curriculum is a 3-tier curriculum. This means it's divided into freshman level, secondary, and capstone. And at each level, students are required to do a particular number of courses outside of their major. It's very carefully designed to develop students' intellectual abilities at different levels, and social and personal growth also. At the freshman level, we teach them basic writing and communication skills that are foundational for their academic journey in the university. They also have to do an information literacy course, a seminar class, philosophical thinking, which examines what thinking is and how people should relate to information and knowledge, a course in scientific thinking, and then we have 2 courses where they get to choose from a list of courses. One of them is called, one category is called scientific encounters. So they choose from usually natural science courses and a lab. And the other is cultural explorations, where they choose from a list of humanities and social science courses that explore identity, cultures, and different areas of psychology, education, things like that. That's at the freshman level. Was the question just about the primary level? Okay.
At the freshman level. Here's a question. I think all of you understand the term GPA. Is there anyone who is not familiar with the GPA? Okay. Okay, so the GPA, or what is known in Arabic as al-Muaddal al-Tarakumi, is the calculation of the student's performance, and we calculate it. The registrar can explain this probably better, but we calculate it for the semester and also cumulative, meaning semester plus semester plus semester plus semester. Therefore, with the credits that the student accumulates, it becomes more difficult to raise and lower the GPA because you have more credits that you're averaging in. So the important or the easy time to really make a difference is at the beginning. Therefore, we really encourage you to keep an eye on, and we will too, your students in the first year as they get to the second year. The first year is very crucial. But there is a question here. We want students, or students must maintain a GPA of 2.0, 2 out of 4. Going below 2 is a problem, so staying above 2 is a must. So AUC has many services for students when the GPA starts to lower, but it's very important for students to understand that the services exist and they need to come and ask for them. If they remain silent and don't ask for help, this is a problem. However, we will know, the registrar will know, when a student is at risk. So the question here is, what does the university do when the student becomes at risk? Or ماذا تفعل الجامعة عندما يكون الطالب معدل تراكمي منخفض بمعنى 2.4 2.3.
So زي ما دين جورج قال انه لازم we have to maintain ال 2.0 وقال انه هيحصل مشكلة بس ما قالش ايه المشكلة. So the مشكلة is انه the student لو ال GPA بتاعه نزل عن 2 for 1 or more semesters, maximum عنده 2 semesters يعني تقريبا سنة. بعد كده بيحصل له dismissal من الجامعة. زي ما كان بروفوست إيهاب لسه من شوية بيقول إنه النهاردة وامبارح he's seeing petitions للناس اللي اترفضوا because of ال GPA. So the GPA, yes, it's very important. I know إن إحنا في الأول قلنا مش بس الأكاديميكس وإن ال GPA مش أهم حاجة. But it is actually to continue being enrolled at AUC, you need to maintain a 2.0. Again, أسهل فترة إني أجمع نقط. Let's call it إنها كأني حصالة وبحوش فيها. هي في الأول. Once I get a high GPA, علشان I need it كده for the declaration. عشان أعرف declare الميجر اللي أنا عايزه. عشان ما أجبرش again لميجر أنا مش عايزه because of GPA. فهي أحسن فترة أعلي فيها ال GPA في الأول. هستفيد ان انا I declare وبعد كده حياتي خلاص I can focus بقى على activities, I can focus on any extra curricular once I declare and I just need to maintain a 2.0. A 2.0 ترجمتها في ال grades اللي هي ABC, I just need C's. That's a 2.0 to maintain. Right? At risk, we started دلوقتي and the Academic Advising Center كمان they have this unit. GPAs من أول ما تبقى 2.3. Academic Advising Center, they reach out to the students, they bring them in, بيشوفوا إيه المشاكل, بيشوفوا how it could be solved, so مش بيسيبوهم لغاية ما يبقوا below 2. So this is the at-risk unit as well. Academic Advising Center.
دي السيرفيس الوحيدة اللي مش عايزين حد من ولادكم يستخدمها بليز.
But there's another side to this, thank you, and that is, what if we feel that the student's problem is not academic but psychological? The student has social fear, cannot talk in class, is shy, is sad, depressed, anxious, not sleeping. What do we do? And therefore, I want to ask the chief clinical counselor about this.
Is the question regarding when someone is at risk or in general?
At risk.
When someone is at risk. Actually, أكلم بالعربي ولا؟ Okay. العربي. احنا الجامعة بصراحة من الحاجات الميزة القوية فيها اللي هي مش متواجدة في جامعات تانية كتير. يمكن يكون في مثلا مركز إرشاد خفيف كده في الجامعات الأخرى، بس مش مش بالليفل بتاع الامريكان يونيفرسيتيز. فاحنا عندنا السنتر بتاع الستودنت ويل بينج في كذا خدمه، في غير الكونسلنج للاستشارات النفسيه وفي الاكوموديشن اللي ندى والكسندرا جديس ماسكينها للناس اللي عندهم اي نوع من اي اعاقه. في كمان الاتريسك. فالاتريسك دول لو حد عنده اكتشفنا مثلا ان هو GPA او ان هم اون بروبيشن اقل من 2 او زي ما رشا ريجسترار ونهى قالوا اللي هو 2.3 يعني at risk، بيحتاجوا ان احنا نتعمل لهم نوع من الفلترنج. يمكن يكون اللي مأثر في دراستهم دي حاجه سايكولوجيكال، فبنعمل لهم اسسمنت ونتاكد ان مفيش حد من الناس دول متعثر في الدراسه بسبب الحاجه السايكولوجيكال. والله لو ثبت ان هو فعلا بيعاني من اي مرض نفسي، او مش لازم مرض يعني، ممكن يكون زي ما دكتور ماركي قال نوع معين من التوتر الجامد، اي حاجه تقف في البرفورمانس بتاعهم، performance الأكاديمي. يعني في الحالة دي بنتابعهم وبيبقوا مسؤوليتنا بقى. يعني وانس حد جالنا بيرتبط بينا وبنهتم بيه وبنكمل لحد ما نتأكد ان هو خرج من عنق الزجاجة بتاع المشكلة النفسية اللي هي مأخراه أكاديميا.
Very good. The next question هو السؤال متعلق بصحة الطالب. دكتور أمين، السؤال هو ما هي الخدمات التي توفرها الجامعة للطالب عندما يمرض؟
المانداتوري هيلث انشورنس احنا الحقيقه في كومباني مسؤول عنه هي لبنو سويس، ومانج باي جلوب ميد كومباني. الحقيقه الانشورنس كومباني دي احنا اخترناها، كانت كوميتي من الفايس بريزنت فور ستودنت افير ات ذات تايم، ذا بيرنت اسوسيشن بريزنت، ميديكال اوفيس and the SU. The premium or the fees 1,300 Egyptian pound per year, which is less than 4 Egyptian pound per day, and covered up to 100,000 drug dispensing, and they add two special benefit, which is they accept the pre-existing and the chronic disease, and also they accept any psychological crisis arise to any of our students.
Thank you, Dr. Amin. The next question is for the Senior Director of the Office of Student Life, and it is, could you tell me what kinds of clubs or organizations my son or daughter can join?
لو احنا عندنا انشورنس تاني قد الانشورنس ال100,000 كفرج او اكتر، لازم يقدموا على exemption. كل سمستر لازم يقدموا على exemption by a certain deadline. احنا بنبعت للستودنتس several emails على الموضوع ده، كتير منهم ما بيشوفوهوش، وبعد الاكزامشن ديدلاين بيبقوا مقلقانين قوي انهم هيدفعوا 650 pounds. Please alert them ان هم يبقوا very attentive to the deadlines اللي هتجيلهم. وعموما السمستر ده ان شاء الله الديدلاين 23rd of February. فلو في اي student عايز يعمل exemption because he's covered by his mom's or dad's policy، على طول يبلغنا والبروسيس بتبقى موجوده في الايميلز. بنتي نفسها دفعت كذا سمستر لانها ما بصتش على الايميل and it had to be done. يعني بالنسبه للكلوبز we have several kinds of clubs. كل student له يعني هوايه او غرض بيقدر ان هو يدخل في كلوب. عندنا كلوبز ثقافيه، عندنا كلوبز ليها علاقه بالساينسز، عندنا اكاديميك اسوسيشنز لها علاقه بالميجر، فاول ما بيديكلير ميجر يقدر يبقى بيشتغل مع اسوسيشن في الميجر بتاعه and so on. احنا بنعمل حاجه اسمها engagement fair during orientation، وعندنا الاسبوع ده ان شاء الله recruitment fair. فكل الستودنتس الجداد الفريشمان او حتى بتوع السمستر اللي فات or throughout ال4 سنين يقدروا يجوا يقابلوا الستودنتس that run the clubs because they are run by students، ويشوفوا ايه الكلاب اللي يحبوا ان هم ينرول فيه. لو ما عرفوش يعملوا ده يقدروا يبعتوا ايميل osl@aucegypt.edu osl and we will help them and guide them through ايه الكلابز اللي تبقى مواسيه ليهم او مناسبه ليهم. الحاجه المهمه ان الكلاب
له شقين، شق ليه علاقة بالهواية أو بالهوى بتاع الطالب، وشق له علاقة بالبادجت واللوجيستكس والأوبريشن، وده في كل الكلاب. يعرف يعمل بادجت، يعرف يكلم البريس، يعرف يكوردينيت مع مكاتب الجامعة كلها، بيخرج من الاكتيفيتيز اكسبيرينس ready to go to the work أو job market. ده بالنسبة لكل الكلابز اللي عندنا.
Thank you very much. Here is a question I'm going to again ask the Dean of Undergraduate Studies to answer this question. And السؤال بالعربي: لماذا لا يتم السماح للطلاب الجدد الذين تم تسجيلهم لمقررات اللغة الإنجليزية فقط بتسجيل مقرر أو 2 من مقررات التخصص، خصوصا إذا كان مستواهم في اللغة الإنجليزية جيد جدا ودراساتهم السابقة في المواد العلمية كانت باللغة الإنجليزية؟
I'm not sure I understand the question. There, I think when students are accepted at AUC, أقول بالعربي، لما الطلبة بتتقبل في AUC بيتقبلوا على أساس امتحان لغة خارجي standardized زي TOEFL أو IELTS، هو ده اللي بيحدد مستوى اللغة اللي هم هيتقبلوا في الجامعة عندها. ففي عندنا أول مستوى الجامعة بتقبله اسمه ELI. الستودنتس بيبقى عندهم 5 ساعات في اليوم intensive English, reading and writing and study skills and integrated skills, academic skills. ف5 ساعات ده 4 مرات في الأسبوع، يعني 20 ساعة في الأسبوع. فما فيش وقت إن هم ياخدوا مواد تانية حتى لو هم كانوا بيدرسوا بالإنجليش في المدرسة بتاعتهم، لأن بمقابل كل ساعة الستودنتس بيعملوها في الجامعة المفروض إن في قصادها مش متأكدة كام ساعة، ساعة واحدة من 1 ل2 ساعة assignments أو شغل برا الكلاس. فلما يعملوا 5 ساعات في اليوم يعني مفيش وقت. في مستوى تاني في الإنجليش اسمه English O210. لو الستودنتس جابوا سكور أعلى في اللغة ومحتاجين شوية training في الرايتنج، ساعتها بياخدوا 3 ساعات في اليوم وممكن ياخدوا مادتين من الفريشمان level. So that's okay. And then المستوى الثالث بتاع الانجليش if they score لو السكورز بتاعتهم أعلى شوية بيقدروا يخشوا ياخدوا مادتين، واحدة اسمها seminar واحدة اسمها Red 1010. المادتين دول برضو الستودنتس بيشتغلوا على writing and reading skills، بس بيكونوا full freshman، بياخدوا 5 مواد عادية من بتوع الجامعة 4 credit. الانجليش اللي هو 5 ساعات في اليوم و3 ساعات في اليوم 0 credit. فهي دي ال3 مستويات بتاعت الانجليش.
Sorry for that complicated question. A question about the minor. What is a minor, and is the minor included in the scholarship? I'm not sure. Is the minor included in a scholarship? So if a student has a scholarship, can a student minor?
of course. الماينر هو تخصص فرعي، يعني أنا ممكن أبقى mechanical engineering كالميجر بتاعي، بس I'm interested في business administration، ممكن أعمل minor اللي هو تخصص فرعي بيبقى تقريبا from 5 to 6 courses in the field اللي بختاره. So that's the minor and it's طبعا counted within العدد الساعات اللي لازم أخلصه والGPA وكل
هو الماينر بيبقى included في السكولرشيب. هو بيبقى فيه عدد ساعات معينة لازم الطالب يابايد بيها لكل سكولرشيب وبيقدمها. فلو هو تعدى عدد الكريدت اورز اللي هو مسموح بيها للسكولرشيب فساعتها بيضطر يدفع الكريدتس الزياده اللي عليه اللي مش بتبقى included في السكولرشيب. فاز لونج از هو في جوه الكريدت اورز اللي مسموح بيها السكولرشيبس بتبقى included.
منح لحاجه معينه في الجامعه لطلبه لانواع طلبه معينين. يعني مثلا عندنا حاجه جديده ماضيينها قريب، حد مدي منح للطلبه اليمنيين، خلاص ما يقدرش ياخد عليها غير الطلبه اليمنيين. في حد تاني مدي منح للطلبه العرب عموما بيبقى فيهم الطلبه المصريين. وفي منح بتبقى الجامعه نفسها هي اللي بتديها للطلبه. فلازم تبص على شروط كل منحه ابنك اتقبل عليها وتشوف شروط المنحه ايه، لان ممكن شروط المنحه تقول لا انا مش هقبل غير انك تعمل الميجر بتاعك بس، او ممكن اقبل ميجر وماينر، وممكن اقبل تو ميجرز. اي داوت يعني ان في منحه بتقبل تو ميجرز. بس انت لازم تبص على شروط المنحه اللي ابنك او بنتك واخداها، لان ده هيجاوب السؤال بتاعك اكتر. ولو انت مش متاكد من فضلك روح للمكتب السكولرشيب عندنا في الجامعه وقول لهم نوع المنحه ايه واسال الاسئله بالتفصيل، هم هيقدروا يجاوبوك باجابه شامله واوضح كمان من الاجابه العامه دلوقتي. شكرا.
And there's a question about our services to students who need accommodations, students who have disabilities. And the question is للطلاب ذوي الاحتياجات الخاصة ما هي الخدمات التي نوفرها للطلاب؟
AUC proudly serves و supports طلبة يعني احتياجاتهم كلها. فعندنا كذا دور منهم ان احنا بنقدم حاجة اسمها academic accommodations. دي بتبقى تسهيلات او adjustments للكورس او التستنج او الكلاس نفسه بيبقى designed ازاي. فممكن مثلا طالب بيبقى محتاج وقت زيادة، فحاجة من الاكوموديشنز هو في الامتحانات بنديله وقت زيادة. في سيرفيسز تانية حاجة مهمة قوي في الجامعة هي الاسيستيف تكنولوجي. فعندنا يونت مسؤولة بس ان هي تخلي كل الماتيريال اللي اي استاذ او اي كلاس بيحتاجه accessible، بمعنى لو طالب عنده visual impairment فيقدر الماتيريال دي تتحول لبريل تبقى اي فورمات. حاجات تانية بنقدر نقدمها هي disability buddies، بمعنى احنا عندنا هنا المكتب تبع الورك ستادي بروجرام بتاعنا نقدر ان احنا نassign student بيشتغل معانا لأي student عنده disability يساعده شوية في السوشيال aspect بتاع الجامعة. برضو عندنا disability assistant peers، أي student محتاج mobility assistant إنه يتحرك من مكان للتاني في الجامعة بنقدر نساعده في الحتة دي. وطبعا بنقدر نقدم note takers، حد يبقى موجود متواجد مع الستودنت في الفصل ياخد له notes. حد محتاج support في امتحان مثلا إنه محتاج حد يقرأ له الامتحان، بيبقى student عندنا already trained in collaboration مع البروفيسور بنقدر نقدم حاجة زي كده.
وفي سؤال تاني بهذا الخصوص، ولو ابني أو بنتي عايزة تستفيد بهذه التسهيلات ما هي طريقة التأهيل أو شروط التأهيل؟
بيبقى في عندنا نوعين، نوع students مقدمين للجامعة with an identified disability، فساعتها دي ممكن يبقوا بيقولوها على الابليكيشن او بيجوا الاوفيس عندنا. بنبص على الدوكيومنتس والريبورتس we verify it وعلى اساسه بنقدم الاكوموديشنز المختلفه. اوقات كتير قوي بنلاقي طلاب they're not performing as expected، سبب منها بيرجع لمشاكل underlying في حاجات زي attention issues زي ADHD اللي هو تشتت الانتباه. اي مشاكل بتاثر على المستوى الاكاديمي احنا ممكن نعمل screening وبنريكومند ان الستودنت يعمل فورمال اسسمنت، وعلى اساسه برضو لما نبص على الدوكيومنتس بيبقى من حق الستودنت اللي هو ياخد تسهيلات اكاديميه.
Thank you. And with that, we've concluded this hour of Q&A with our senior panel. I would like to personally thank all of you for your time and effort in meeting with us this evening. We now have another hour of questions and answers with the services and the both academic and co-curricular. But in the next room, we also have food here. Please avail yourselves of this opportunity to join us in a light snack. And also at 8 p.m., we are offering campus tours for anyone who would like a tour of AUC. we are happy to take you around and show you our beautiful campus. Thank you very much.